Okay, and so we've been travelling west of Birdsville, right?
Yep.
And up until this point, we've been going through a lot of gibber plains, which is off to the side here. But now we're in a habitat that occurs within that, which is the sand dunes, right? So
Yeah, we're in sand dunes. These are longitudinal dunes. They're quite particular to Australia, whereas in many parts of the world you've got the Buchan type systems like the Sahara. But here the dunes are longitudinal, and that's got to do with a lack of sand. But this habitat we're in is in the World Book as just Dune Spinifex and Rocky Spinifex. But what I've got in the Australia book, it's going to be Dune Spinifex and Canegrass, because the Spinifex, as you've seen in the other videos, it's down on the lower slopes and on the edge of the plains. But when you're up here, we're looking at Canegrass, and it replaces the Spinifex on the actual dunes. And this is quite an important habitat because, well,
yeah. So this morning we were looking for a special bird of this habitat. So you could Dune Spinifex and Canegrass, and that was the Iain grass wren, and we were looking for it in the cane grass.
Yep. Yeah, it only occurs.
What's interesting is the cane grass is on film now. It really doesn't look like a grass.
No,
it looks kind of like a sedge or something.
Yeah, it does. It does. So we got the grass wren, but we looked for it for a couple of hours. So it's not an easy bird. There are footprints everywhere from birds and reptiles and mammals. It's just crazy the amount.
Yeah, we've seen some tracks of like diamond doves and small animals that we can't identify.
No, there was a burrow with quite a large mammal going into it, but don't know what that was.
And so we have these cane grass on the hills, but then you are getting some shrubbier areas. So what are the shrubs on the side of the hills and down in the gibber plains?
You've got some eremophilas, and you've got wattles, so acacias on the edge, and they're spaced at about every 50 meters on average. There's a decent sized shrub, and although I said these are longitudinal dunes, they were formed when it was slightly more arid, like during the glacial times, and the sand was moving around. So this is actually giving you the paleo direction of the wind. So these were longitudinal, parallel to the wind. Now what's happening now is the wind's actually coming primarily from the east, and the dunes are actually different shapes. You'll see that they're slightly steeper on the eastern side and more gradual on the western side. You've got more shrubbery on the western side of the dunes.
So these dunes were formed and stabilized in what era, more or less?
During the last glacials.
Okay.
So in Australia, you've got all these dune fields, but they're different directions. And what that's telling you is the predominant wind direction at the time stabilized.
Yeah, okay,
yeah. It's very, very cool.
So it's not telling you the current wind.
Not telling you the current. So other things that come in here, it's not used by very much. We've had diamond doves in this morning, zebra finches, budgies were here, willy wagtail was here, which is kind of crazy. Oh, and red-browed pardalotes. But it's a very depauperous.
We're on Little Red right now, and there's quite a lot of water on the track to Big Red, which is another sand dune. And that's kind of the reason we're seeing these flowers, right?
Yeah, I mean, this does not get much rain at all. And the fact that you've got water laying out in the gibber plains and in the swales shows you that just how much water has been dumped here. So this is actually alive. So if you think this looks desolate, well, in the other seasons you've just got a couple of small shrubs and the cane grass, and that's about it.
Yeah. So this is a period of lush growth following heavy rains again.
Yep. Lush growth, heavy rains.
Sort of 2022.
Yeah. It's been a pretty cool year so far.